#BTK, the digital mistake that ended a reign of terror. Can I communicate with Floppy and not be traced to a computer? Be honest. These words, simple, direct, almost innocent in their naivete, would ultimately unravel one of America's most chilling cold cases. For 3 decades, an unassuming man with an uncontrollable desire to kill terrorized Wichita, Kansas, leaving a trail of bodies and taunting letters in his wake. Between 1974 and 1991, 10 families were shattered by a shadow that moved through their homes in the dead of night. The killer wasn't content with just taking lives, he needed recognition. He craved attention. He sent letters to police and news outlets, describing his crimes in disturbing detail, signing his communications with 3 letters that would haunt the community for generations: BTK, bind, torture, kill, and then silence. For 13 long years, nothing, no letters, no killings, no taunts. In a world where experts universally agree that serial killers don't simply stop until they're caught or killed, BTK seemed to vanish into thin air. Most believed he was dead or imprisoned for another crime. The community began the slow process of healing, of trying to forget the monster who had walked among them. But in 2004, a newspaper article about the unsolved case awakened something dormant. The article suggested BTK was likely dead or incarcerated. The killer, it seemed, couldn't bear the thought of being forgotten, couldn't tolerate the assumption that his reign of terror had ended. He needed to correct the record. New letters began arriving. One contained a victim's driver's license, kept as a trophy for nearly 2 decades. Another directed police to a cereal box left by the roadside, filled with graphic descriptions of his first murders. A second box, hidden behind a Home Depot, almost slipped through investigators' fingers when an unwitting employee threw it away. But that trash would become treasure for investigators. Inside that discarded cereal box lay the key to ending BTK's freedom: a note asking if he could communicate via floppy disk without being traced. The police responded with a newspaper ad. "Rex, it will be okay." A simple message with a complex deception. Yes, they told him, a floppy disk would be untraceable. 2 weeks later, a package arrived containing that very disk. On it, a single file with the message, "This is a test." But BTK had made a catastrophic error. The metadata embedded in that file contained 2 damning pieces of information: the name Dennis and a digital trail leading back to Christ Lutheran Church. A quick web search revealed the congregation president's name, Dennis Rader. Surveillance showed a black Jeep Grand Cherokee in his driveway, matching the vehicle spotted on Home Depot security footage. DNA from Rader's daughter's previous medical exam confirmed the connection to crime scene evidence. On February 25, 2005, Dennis Rader, husband, father, church leader, Boy Scout volunteer, and city compliance officer, was arrested. The mask of normalcy fell away, revealing the monster who had lived a double life for decades. During his interrogation, Rader couldn't stop talking. For 30 hours, he meticulously detailed his crimes, describing the terror in his victims' eyes, the methods of their deaths, the fantasy that drove him. The man who had evaded capture for decades betrayed himself through his need for recognition, his desire to be remembered, to be feared. When Rader realized the police had lied about tracing the floppy disk, he asked his interrogator, "How come you lied to me?" The detective's response was as simple as, "It was devastating. Because I was trying to catch you." Today, Dennis Rader serves 10 consecutive life sentences in a Kansas prison. His reign of terror finally ended not by his restraint or conscience, but by his vanity, his need to be acknowledged as the monster who signed his work BTK. In the digital age, even the most careful predators leave footprints. For Dennis Rader, a single floppy disk and one fatal question about its traceability became the technological noose that finally brought justice to 10 families who had waited far too long. What do you believe happened here? Share your theory in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to DeepSoul Radio for more chilling cases like this.